Why would Booth jump down to the stage? Surely, to avoid capture, it would have been far easier and wiser to retreat behind the curtain of the box and to flee down the back corridor. On stage, with a twisted ankle or broken leg, Booth should have been a sitting duck, both for men from the audience and for men on stage or backstage. But, unworried by that fact, Booth pauses to address the audience and hold up a knife. He just killed the president with a gun, not a knife. Where did the knife come from? We are expected to believe he just jumped 15 feet down with a large knife in his hand or pocket. You will say the knife was in a sheath. No, the story is Booth fought with Major Henry Rathbone, who was also in the box with the Lincolns, wounding him with the knife. Two problems there. One, try jumping down 15 feet with a large knife in your hand. I have jumped down from that height, and it is very difficult to land without injuring an ankle or a knee, even without a knife. You have to roll forward and catch yourself with your arms as well, to take force off your legs. More importantly, struggling with Rathbone should have taken some time. With the shot fired, the women screaming, and the fight with Rathbone, everyone in the theater should have been alerted to the president's box. There would have been at least a dozen men at the base of the box, just waiting for Booth. He would have leaped right into their arms, not onto a deserted stage. Booth was also said to have had a stick, with which he jammed the door to the presidential box, keeping anyone from coming into the box from that direction. He is said by a famous witness to have passed a note to an usher, to be let into the box. So speaking to the usher, Booth was carrying a large stick, a gun, and a large knife. In order to get into the presidential box, with at least 3 weapons, all you need to do is pass a note to an usher. The president travels with no security during the Civil War. More on this below. We are told in the mainstream stories that Booth was a well-known rebel sympathizer. No, we are told he was a rabid Confederate supporter, making no effort to hide it. And yet, he lived in the North. He was born in Maryland and acted mostly in Union and border states, spending a lot of time in Boston and New York and almost no time in the South. The rest of his family was blue to the core. Booth was engaged to a New Hampshire senator's daughter, and this senator was not a Democrat, much less a rebel. I will be told that wasn't so rare, but the problem is it conflicts with another part of the story which we see here. We are told Booth was let into the box because he was a famous actor. But even so, according to the mainstream story, he was a famous actor known to be a raving enemy of the Union. If Lincoln's Secret Service had a no-fly list, Booth would be at the top of it. So the standard story makes no sense. It contradicts itself in 100 places. Once on stage, Booth is now holding off every man in the theater with a knife. Not one man in the theater has a gun or sword during the Civil War. Not one man knows how to confront a single man with a knife. Remember, Booth was known as an actor, not as a decorated soldier. In other words, he was not a fighter. I ask any soldiers in the audience, are you afraid to take on an actor? My soldier will say, no, actors are known to be fairies or milquetoasts. Just so.